Oh my God. Oh my God.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, Jermaine Avery, and I'm joined by my co-host, Trevis Willingham. How you doing tonight, Trevis?
I'm doing good.
Doing good. We are the Talking NFC Beast, and we're here to talk to you everything about the NFC East. And it's coming to a close. We're going to talk about week 16 and 17, and we're going to talk about the Eagles going into the playoffs because there's no other NFC East team that's going to the playoffs. So we're only going to talk about the Eagles going to the playoffs tonight.
Yeah, boy.
Hey, it is what it is, man. The Eagles have been dominating the NFC East all season, so they should be highlighted as such. I mean, I can't hate on that, you know. But before we get into it, I just want to say I appreciate all y'all riding with us this season. It's been a lot of fun. We've learned a lot doing this podcast, and we've enjoyed it. And I hope you guys have enjoyed it too. Just stay tuned to our YouTube channel, Talking NFC Beast, and also keep following us on Instagram at Talking NFC Beast. If you like what you see, man, next year will be even bigger and better. And we plan to do more, and we're going to keep it moving. We're going to keep it going because we enjoy doing it. It's a lot of fun. So with that being said, we're going to jump right into it. Week 16, we had a couple exciting games. The Redskins in particular had the Broncos. It ended at 27-10 in the favor of the Redskins. Then in week 17, it was followed by a loss to the Giants, 10. And it's just, to me, I'm not going to elaborate on the games and the stats in that game too much. It's basically a culmination of how the season has been. Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. One game they look good. The next game, they look like they've never played a game of football in their lives. So, you know, it was typical in typical Redskins fashion this year. Some of the highlights from this season that I saw that I thought were good. At times, the defense looked very stout. I mean, especially against the Raiders, they looked really, really good. But then another downside is another game they would come back. Like, for example, against the Giants, they couldn't stop a deficient Giants offense in week 17. It's just too much inconsistency. And I think that's really the story of the season for the Redskins. To kind of elaborate on the Giants a little bit, in week 16, they played, I want to say it was the Cardinals. Yep, played the Arizona Cardinals. They lost 23-0. Didn't score a point. That's horrible. But then in week 17, they came right back and they beat the Redskins 18-10. The Giants, as you all know, have had a horrible season. From their GM and their coach being fired to all of their starting wide receivers getting hurt in the same game, to just fighting and going back and forth between DBs in their secondary, suspensions, and it's just been a bad season for the Giants. I can't say that I feel too sorry for them, but it is what it is. I don't know, man. What do you think about that, Trevis? What do you think about the Giants?
I didn't know I was here to think something about the Giants. I'm sorry. I'm not even really prepared for that. I didn't know that I had to talk about somebody that I really didn't feel like talking about. It's a particular team in which, it's kind of lackluster, and I really don't care about the Giants at all. They don't even have a fan here to represent them, and I think that pretty much tells you exactly how you should feel.
Hey, look, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to say, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a long week, and me and Trevis is sucking down coffee because we so tired, and this lets y'all know that we really love y'all and we love this game of football. So we gonna rock it out either way. Trevis got that good hazelnut Wawa coffee while I'm over here sucking on the Target brand coffee. I trying to get I tell you, man, it's something else. But I feel you. I feel like I felt like I'd go ahead and just mention the Giants just because, it is NFC East. But I don't really want to talk about them bums either. They suck. It's just they've been horrible. Let's chat about the Cowboys just a little bit. It ain't got to be much. I mean, we thought the one and only Michael Cash was going to join us tonight, but again, he's chickened out and he hasn't shown his face. Even though we told him what time we were going to be on, we told him what we were going to talk about, but again, he hasn't shown, and that's fine. That means we're going to trash his team even more.
Well, I mean, the number one thing that you know about the Dallas Cowboys right now is even though Zeke came back, they still couldn't do it. Right. I mentioned to y'all numerous times. I said even though he comes back, it's very hard to get those small little things in football to work for you, like handing off the ball. Multiple times they couldn't even get the handoff correctly because those 6 weeks of practice in which you missed, it messes you up on timing wise in playing the game of football. There are a lot of small things that you need in football to win. Step in the same direction. Everybody has to move in the same direction. Everybody has to know, oh, I don't take this man. I take that man. You have this man. Whole big scheme to it, people. The number one thing you got to understand as a running back, because there's so many small touchable moments between you and a quarterback. If it comes to a pitch, the quarterback got to know how hard he's going to pitch the ball at you. If it comes to a handoff, he got to know how soft of a handoff you're going to give him, or if you're going to pull the ball back, what does it feel like when this quarterback pulls the ball back? Even though they had been playing together, remember, this is not Aikman and Emmett. This is, Dak and this is Zeke. They only had a year and a half to really be doing a handoff. And some people never really think about those small things in football that really allows a team to keep flowing. But if you look at it, if Zeke had been playing the full time, we might be talking about the Dallas Cowboys as the 6th seed in the playoffs. But unfortunately, we're not. Why? Because their coach name is Garrett. His name is Garrett. And as simple as that. Your coach name is Garrett. You gave your team no chance whatsoever to win anything at all. I mean, I like the rivalry between the Eagles and the Cowboys. We probably would have ended up playing in the playoffs or something. But because of Garrett, you did not prepare your team the way it was supposed to be prepped. And with Zeke coming back for those last games, those should have been icing games.
I mean, I agree with you on the point of, missing those 6 weeks of practice really hurt because it's very true. That's why they practice it. Those very small things, those handoffs, those pitches, like running an option play, that time and the rhythm has to be there between the quarterback and the running back. I mean, it's got to be solid. One slip up, 1 millimeter of a wrong movement, and the ball is on the ground. It's a botch handoff or a fumble. So you're right. It really takes its toll on you when a player has been gone for that extended period of time, and then they come back and it is expected to perform at a high level like that. I can't put it all on Zeke. I don't know if it was Dak or if it was Zeke. I really put it on timing and put it on the lack of practicing with each other over those 6 weeks. But ultimately, that ain't right. The Cowboys didn't succeed. They didn't succeed because they weren't prepared. And and if you look at all the firings that happened. Wide receiver coach, the defensive coordinator, I think. I mean, it was several people who got the axe after the season was up because they had, issues all over the place in that organization. I mean, not even just
cutting off at the top. Yeah, cutting off at the top. They should not be cutting off in no midsections, no nothing at the top. The number one thing at the top, his name is Garrett.
No, his name is Jerry Jones. He need to stay out the coaching box. Jerry Jones needs to stay out the coaching box.
I mean, that too. But if you own it, you own it. I mean, it is what it is. You own the team, man. Good luck for you. You own it, just not against the Eagles. But I mean, good luck. You own it. I mean, do what you do. But if the fans aren't calling for him to be fired, he's not going to fire him.
And I'm not saying I don't.
The fans control buying those tickets for that stadium.
I don't necessarily know that Jason Garrett is the issue. I'm not saying that he's the solution, but I don't think he's the ultimate problem. What I will say is, as the owner, being Jerry Jones, and I'm not saying he's not a good businessman. If you look at what he's done over the years and what he's created and the revenue he's brought to himself and his family and his brand, I mean, the man knows what he's doing. But I will say this: the mark of a great businessman is the people that they put around him. And if he's got his hands so entrenched in what's going on with that team and the players, you're gonna see issues. And I think that's a big part of the problem. And I think that kind of leans towards your argument with Jason Garrett. He's so hands-on with Garrett, and Garrett is his guy. You know that. You know what I'm saying? Garrett's his dude. So, maybe he needs to take a step back and let the GM or let a GM or let somebody of operations come in and actually, delegate responsibilities properly and manage the team a little bit better instead of being so hands-on. You might have a little more success. I don't know. That's just my opinion. Hey, I'm not a Cowboys fan. I don't care. Keep doing what you're doing. You're not doing us any harm. You care.
Keep doing what you're doing because you suck at it in the last minutes of the game. So we appreciate those L's and what you take.
I'm just looking at it from
until you need them to win a game. Until you need them to win a game for you to get into the playoffs, and then you really crap out of luck because they can't beat a team. I mean, let's think about it.
Right. But they in week 16, the Cowboys lost 21-12 to Seattle. Seattle had a rough season, tons of injuries. They had a lot going on. And then Dallas came back in week 17 and beat the Eagles 6-0, which was very shocking, not only to the Eagles, but the whole NFL.
We played a very lackluster game in that game. I think a lot of people were basically like, we're in the playoffs. Like, why are we out here playing? And you kind of could tell by some of the lethargic play in which we had on that day in the first two quarters. Torrey Smith dropped that wide open, cross the middle, in his breadbasket catch. And what's unfortunate is as soon as we switched up to a backup quarterback, we turned into the 2016 Philadelphia Eagles. I don't understand where it came from. I don't understand what's going on. We had the spark with the Rams when he came in. We had the spark with the Giants when he came in. And then out of nowhere, we turned right back into the 2016 Eagles. Foles would throw a pass, put it right in your breadbasket, and you just drop the ball. And it's like, I know it's cold outside. Okay, focus a little bit harder. Make sure you have the ball before you start running. And that was the big issue for us. A lot of people didn't want to focus on the fact that they had the ball in their hand before they started running, as far as receivers.
Yeah.
As far as a quarterback, I don't know if Foles knows how to play in cold weather. I have no idea whatsoever. But for some reason, when it gets cold outside, he gets thoughty. And what I mean by thoughty is this. When he backs up, he's starting to think about how to play instead of just playing. Wow. He's trying to figure out where to put the ball instead of just backing up, hitch step, throw the ball right into the breadbasket, and let the play be done. He's thinking a little bit way too much. And also in the Raiders game, you could tell once Foles got hit one too many times, he wasn't for it. He was not for it. He did not feel like getting hit anymore. There were multiple times in the Cowboys game where he ended up getting hit, and he was like, "Yeah, you know what? I'm not gonna do it. You're not gonna hit me and just take it from me like that. We're not gonna do that." So, but Cowboys fans, let's get back to you. First and foremost, don't think you got a win over the Philadelphia Eagles. No, you didn't. You got a win over our third and fourth string players that we put in at the end of the game. There are players that were in there that I didn't even know their name. Sidney Jones played. You know who Sidney Jones is? Sidney Jones was on the injured reserve just months before. If Carson Wentz doesn't get hurt, Sidney Jones is not even playing in the game. Understand that. So the Eagles brought him back for playoffs because we have to play with Foles. We need a little bit better covers. Okay? Understand that. So for all of you fans that are out there like, oh my God, we beat y'all 6-0. We were so great. Dak Prescott could not drive the ball against our third string defense. Understand that. Najee Good is not our starting linebacker. He is like a fourth string linebacker. Ellaby, we just pulled him off of some couch somewhere, and he used to play for the Saints. He was in there also. We have lost Hicks. We have lost Walker. So when you look at the Eagles defense and everybody's saying, oh, you know, what's going on with them, you got some players that are in there that weren't expected to play at all that are playing in the NFL right now. And I'm hoping that these 2 weeks right here help them out a whole lot going forward. I'm hoping.
I gotta call you out a little bit. I gotta call you out a little bit because hold on. I gotta call you out a little bit. Only because if the roles were reversed, you'd be saying a dub is a dub. You wouldn't be saying you were playing against this string.
I'm saying don't gloat about it. I'm saying don't gloat about it.
Hey, look, you gloat about a W regardless of how you get it or who was in the game. Not to mention, the Eagles have been playing with some of those same backup players the whole season. Najee Good, he's been there. Y'all been hurting at linebacker.
Good average 5 plays. 5 plays. When they were in, good average 5 plays a game.
He's been playing though, hasn't he?
Yeah, five plays, and he's a special teamer. He's a special teamer. You're asking him to start as your middle linebacker right now.
You've also said yourself in weeks prior on this podcast that you play with y'all play with your third string players, with backup players because y'all been so hurt.
But our previous third stringers were people who were playing in the game. You understand what I'm saying? So if you got 3 linebackers and 2 of your linebackers go down, now you're substituting with somebody you just pulled off the couch, and then somebody that, oh yeah, he really was a special teamer, but now he has to play. Remember the other linebacker that we had in was the linebacker that had to play kicker. Number 54, I think it's like Chahill or something like that. He has to play now.
I remember.
So now you got so many, and that's the full reason on why the coach is now no longer going man to man, because when Walker went down, he has nobody that can cover a running back running out of backfield.
I'm gonna tell you like this. I agree. That's why Jim Schwartz is doing it. Oh. Coming in loud and rude.
Right? Loud, rude.
Yeah.
Can you turn your microphone down, please? Can you turn your microphone down, please?
Ladies and gentlemen, there has been a Michael Cash appearance. Jesus.
Yeah. And I've been listening while my computer's been firing up, just waiting to get on with one Trevis Willingham spewing a whole lot of nonsense.
That's nonsense now. Wow. Yeah. That's amazing.
Cowboys fans bragging about beating our third strings. Man, nobody want to hear that mess. First of all, nobody's bragging about beating the Eagles in Week 17 meaningless game, so you can stop that. Okay. Secondly, you may as well just get ready to live with your boy Nick Foles, because that's what you have right now. And I'm hearing a whole lot of crying coming from you, crying and excuses.
I didn't cry. I'm telling you exactly. I'm telling the fans.
I just listened to 10 minutes of it.
Listen to me. I'm telling the fans exactly what's going down. Understand what's going down. Understand your team.
Hey, Cash, don't worry about it, because I was about to bust him in the head real quick. And my next point was going to be, you're not going to say it. I know Trevis ain't going to say it. And I don't blame him, because it's his team. I get it. But the Eagles are in trouble with Nick Foles at quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Don't want to admit it. And I know he was talking about them.
Look, we need a heavy run game.
I said last week they forgot how Nick Foles left town the first time. They ran him out of here.
I'm telling you straight up.
They ran him out for Mike Vick.
It's not.
And act like he was this world beater before he left. He was a left.
It's not. We lost by 2 points when he left. Before he left that season, we lost. We lost by 2 points to the Saints.
Why they get rid of him, Trevis?
Because Mike Vick came.
Why they get rid of him, Trevis? Because Mike Vick came.
And how old was Mike Vick?
That's your answer.
And how old was Mike Vick? Mike Vick was on
like 30.
Way on the downside of his career.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They still chose him over Nick Foles. That tells you a lot.
The reason why was because Nick Foles couldn't run. He couldn't move. We had an offensive line that was trying to repair at that time.
Come on, man.
Man, you know what you just did? You put sugar on shit is what you just did.
Stop it.
That is not why. They knew that dude didn't have it. They knew he couldn't cut it. They knew that.
Oh,
and they know it now.
Not a damn thing.
I understand what you're saying. We're talking about our backup right now.
They know it now.
We gotta do what we gotta do. I'm hoping this is what I'm hoping for. Nick Foles does not lose the game for us. That's what I'm hoping for. Nick, do not lose the game for us.
He damn sure ain't gonna win.
Play your game.
What Doug Peterson is doing right now is they going back to his 27 touchdown, 2 interception season and trying to put every play from that season into the playbook.
Mr. Cash, you are correct because he said that in a press conference that he went back and looked at all the plays that he actually knew that would be like second nature to him, and they're putting those in. The great thing about those plays, all those plays are down the field plays. They're not, little dink and dunk plays. He's not a dink and dunk quarterback.
But every
time he throws a dink and dunk pass, you know what happens when he throws a dink and dunk pass? He throws an interception. Just like when he tried to throw that Ertz and he threw it over his head and he threw it into the other guy's hands. He cannot dink and dunk. And I told y'all that. He's a bomb throwing quarterback. Let him throw a deep post, a deep corner, and then run the ball. I mean, I don't understand why Peterson is not looking at this podcast right now, and that's what he should be listening to.
What comes with throwing down the field is you need time to do that. So,
he got time, Cash. Cash, he got time, man. He been having like a non-step. He just sitting back there and people running at him.
He should have time. I mean, from the running game and the play action, he should have time. But
no, I'm gonna say why he ain't got time. He ain't got time because they got Vital on the left side and he getting murdered.
They can buy time with play action, but
they
Nick
buying
Foles,
time with that play action, man.
He's still going to be Nick Foles, man. He's still going to be, and if he starts getting touched a little too much, he's going to fold.
I said that. He folds when he gets smacked a couple of times. He'll start throwing too quick or taking too long to throw to make sure he got the right throw coming out. That's a problem, man. Right. The number one thing that I want to happen with Foles is for them to just throw deep. Get the ball out of his hands, throw deep.
So, Trevis,
let him throw deep because it's going to back the corners off.
How do you think the Eagles will take having been home for roughly over a month or so? Their last 2 games at home, they get a bye week, and then they play again at home. Like they've been home chilling. Do you think some complacency gonna set in? Being home and chilling that long, rustiness.
This is what I will say to you. In a interview, he said we have been having soft practices. I think a little too much. Recently, they put on the pads. Start smacking each other a little bit. And it's very important to do that in football. I think, as we all know, in football, sometimes you got to get a rude awakening. Yeah. Start clapping them pads on and start smacking people, letting them know you soft. And Lane Johnson said it best in the interview. He said it was a rude awakening for a lot of people who just been lollygagging, messing around. So when you look at it, I do believe that the Eagles will be ready, considering the fact that I think Coach Peterson is trying to keep his job. And he understands that their great opportunity right now in which they have as the number 1 seed in the playoff, you don't just want to lose that. Because right now the Eagles season is just kind of just like the Dallas Cowboys season from last year. And then to come out there and then actually take the L, of course everybody is going to blame it on the quarterback. But I'm going to blame it on the coach. Because you had 2 weeks to prepare a quarterback that you already seen that can throw touchdowns. He can throw them. Prepare offense for him to excel. And this is where you need to excel yourself to a better coaching standard and say, look, I'm going to come up with a game plan that I believe we can win with.
Peterson is good this year. Peterson is good this year.
Peterson went all in on adapting that offense to Carson Wentz, and now he has to shift gears now.
Exactly. And he had 2 weeks. He got 2 weeks to do it. As a coach, you get all that money for a reason. They don't talk about how much coaches make. But coaches make some bread. And I'm telling you, he should be sitting down. It should be no rest, no nothing. You should be sitting down. You should be doing what you got to do. Like you said, Mike, figuring out those plays that Foles did so well that would make it be able to say, hey, I'm going to take these plays that he did so well, and I'm going to use these plays right here. And I'm trying to figure out if Ellerby is out there, where's that backup that we signed for Vitae? Because he need to be out there. And you need to say, I'm 6'7", Foles, I got you. You feel what I'm saying? Because you can't look at Vitae and think, oh, I'm not going to get clobbered one of these plays.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's hard. It's easy to find a linebacker, pull a linebacker from the couch than it is a left tackle, man. They don't grow on trees.
You're right. You're right. But he's been out there for like 6 weeks now.
Yeah, he should be better by now.
I think Trevis, you're missing another good point too, though. I understand that Peterson should be able to adjust, and he has 2 weeks to do it with Nick Foles. But that also has a big effect on the defense too, because now you're not playing with that big lead like y'all have been most of the season. So your defense can't play up in man like they have been. They have to kind of sit back in zone, and now they're trying to be a little more aggressive. Or even if they try to play man, people are coming at them. And before they kind of just, it was a little more softer. They didn't have to worry about as much because they knew Carson Wentz can on the field and put points on the board. And it allowed the defense to play more freely. So that they don't have that luxury anymore like they did before. That's going to really tell on them when they start playing tough teams in the playoffs.
Good point. Like that Rams game. What they end up winning that Rams game, like 35-30 or something like that? Like, I don't see that happening.
No, it wasn't. Hold up. It was like 42 something because we got that fumble at the end of the game.
They were both in the 30s, right?
Yeah. We were both in the 30s, and then we got the fumble at the end of the game. But also, there was 2 interceptions that they missed in that game. That was like two blatant in your hands interceptions that I wish he would have caught. It would have changed the whole outlook of that game. But jumping back to what a coaching staff needs to do as far as the Eagles right now, you have to find those plays that Nick Foles can operate with his eyes closed. Basically, he knows the play that well. The same thing, like Cash said, he tailored the offense to Wentz. Even went and got college plays that he knew like it was the back of his hand where a player would be at and how to throw that ball. You have to go find those plays as a coach and call them for your starting quarterback. He's your quarterback. He's who you riding with. You've been practicing with him the whole time, so you didn't pull him from another team and said, go out here and do this for me. You've been with you since training camp. He's been in with you the whole time. You got to know something about him. You had to have scouted what he can do and what he can't do. Yes, he cannot run. Yes, he is not going to escape. Cool. Hold the tight end back. Bump block with a running back off Vitae. Do something. Tell Vitae your first step is in the running back on the chip outside. If he get around the running back, then you run back to where the quarterback at and blocking. Something has to go on to where they end up being prepared.
And that takes a big weapon away in Zach Ertz, though, because you saw against Dallas when he tried to chip block DeMarcus Lawrence and almost died. He's not a good blocker. I wouldn't use him. I was talking about using somebody like Selleck. I wasn't talking about using him as far as tight ends. But because he's the worst blocker in the world. That's a tight end package if you go there.
Yeah. But you could chip block with a running back and still be able to throw the ball to the running back. So I think that's pretty good, chip blocking with the running back and still being able to throw the ball. Another big thing about chip blocking with a running back, you leave the linebacker kind of lurking in the middle of the field. That's bad. So another good thing about the Eagles, and when they flare out their running backs, a lot of linebackers run with them, leaving the middle of the field wide open for a tight end to come sliding across and then throw him the ball. So there's a lot of things to where what the defense is running as far as man-to-man or zone and what you can do with a running back as far as a chip block or leaking him out into the flat. But they have to find help for Vitae. Tell you the truth, Vitae should have been kicked in the nuts a bunch of times and said, dude, you are NFL football playing offensive tackle. You got to man up. This is horrible.
Hey, look, he's like your Chaz Green from Dallas.
If you want to chip block, if you want to chip block and throw it to the running back, it better not be LeGarrette Blount That boy can't catch. He can't even feed his damn self.
That's another thing. What is Peterson gonna check this bull through Staley, man? What the fuck are you doing, dog? You be putting Blunt in the game situations where I be like, the person for this down and distance.
No.
He's not the person.
Absolutely.
Why is he in on 3rd and 18? Why? You got a perfect running back in Clement, but you got Blunt running the ball right now. Why? Please help me out with this. I do not understand what is going on. I really don't. Sometimes you just feel like they're like, oh, let's just get out of this series. I'll be like, get out of this series for what, man? Play to win the game. You are killing me with this, man. You're not playing to win the game. You playing just to play. The Eagles' #1 thing that they have to do right now, every down is a go for it down. And on the 4th down, if it's 4th and 5, you still got to go for it. As long as you're on your side of the field, you got to go for it, man. If you're at the 48, go for it.
That's hard. That's hard to do. You talk about with a backup quarterback, bro. And it's Nick Foles. And it's Nick. I mean, we say look, we say and you and I talked about Nick Foles, and we named all of the other quarterbacks that you said you will replace with Nick Foles. And it won't like you were naming the cream of the crop. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I'm not saying Nick Foles is terrible, but you know he's got definitive limitations. And there's certain things that you're just not going to be able to do with that dude. And
Most of honestly, it in his heart.
God, no. He's just attacked his character.
Exactly. I mean, but they said it on the what's the name? Chris Carter said it. He said, man, have you seen this guy talk in the interview? He's like, man, he just don't seem like a leader. I don't feel like he's a leader. I mean, I'm looking at him. I'm looking at his body structure. He's like, yo, you don't look like somebody who want to go out there and play right now. You look like somebody that want to go home.
It's true.
Like when push comes to shove, right now, when you look at Nick Foles, you need to come up with a game plan that will surprise everybody. Like, oh my God, Nick Foles is rolling right, throwing the ball to who he needs to throw to. And I'll tell you this right now, when Donovan McNabb was here, he was a rollout quarterback at first. He was not a pocket quarterback. He was a rollout because they said when he was rolling, he could find people better. So if you have to, roll Foles, but don't roll him to Vata's side like a dum-dum, and then he tries to throw the ball to Ertz, overthrows him, and it's a pick. Roll him to the other side. Like, come on. Yeah. Like, these are smarter decisions by the coach. This is not the player. This is a smarter decision by the coach going against who he's going against. You have Vitae on the left. You do not roll Nick Foles to the left. You can roll Wentz to the left. You do not roll Nick Foles to the side where you're going to get the most trouble. Like, come on. As a coach, why would you do that?
He threw that interception to Woozier rolling to the right, too. So
No. He wasn't rolling. He was running to the right.
Yeah.
He was scrambling. He was trying to get away. And then he threw I don't know what that was. He never set his feet. He never did anything. He just threw the ball. And I was like, who throws a football without their feet set? Nobody. You are not Aaron Rodgers. Know that your name is Foles. What is wrong with you?
Yeah, I mean, so that's what you're right. Move the pocket. You're going to have to get creative, is what you're saying. And I get it.
Exactly. But you got to keep the defense not knowing what's coming next so that Foles can flourish. If they know what's coming next, and if they know you're about to run the ball, and then they know you're going to keep Foles in the pocket, what are you going to do? Send blitzes. And then you're going to notice that they got to keep a tight end in. Now it's only 3 receivers out there. You can still blitz. Come on, Peterson. Come on.
They're going to run a lot of hurry-up tempo offense. They're going to run the ball a lot, and they're going to do a lot of play action. Like, you're going to see Chip Kelly offense in some form of fashion when they play, who I'm thinking is going to be the Saints. I think that's what you're going to see.
Oh, Cash, why you always jumping the gun, man? We're gonna get to that segment. We're gonna talk about the playoffs.
We already know who's gonna be. It's a rematch. It's gonna be rematches all around.
I was gonna close out the regular season talk with the AFC West versus the NFC East and what the records were. I was gonna close it out, man. God, man. I have my stat lined up, got my stuff sitting out here nice and pretty.
All great minds think alike, man. That's what it is, man. All great minds think alike.
But here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, drum roll, please. This is the AFC West versus the NFC East in the 2017-18 season. NFC East, 9 wins. AFC West, 7.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was 9. Yeah, I was a little bit worried in the beginning of the season. You know, I wasn't really sure how it was going to turn out. I expected the Raiders to be a lot better than they were. I think everybody expected the Broncos to be a little bit better with their defense, but their offense was so horrible that it just, like you said, against the Cowboys, the Broncos played their Super Bowl. That was really it.
Yep.
And they didn't really do much of anything the rest of the season. Then, I mean, of course, you got the Chargers. I mean, they're the Chargers. They're gonna be who they're gonna be. And then the Chiefs, they're another Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde type team. I mean, they got real high.
The 2 W's the NFC East stole, if I can remember off the top of my head, probably that made the difference was I think the Giants beat the Chiefs and the Skins beating the Raiders, I think, were kind of the 2 outliers.
Say that last one again.
Raiders.
Yeah, they beat the dogs now, like 35-10, I think was the score.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's
going
into the season, we were like, yo, that AFC West is strong, you know, and we all said we needed to get a W against the Chargers, and the Chargers end up blowing the Cowboys out. I know that much.
Yeah.
I don't know how the rest of us did against them. They were better than we anticipated.
The Redskins got beat by the Chargers. Yeah. They got beat up real bad. Oh yeah, the Redskins got drugged by the Chargers. Yeah. They did. Yeah. They sure did. I mean, the Chiefs still ended up making the playoffs. They made it a wild card spot.
True. But they made
they're going
9-7 or something like that.
No, 10-6. They're 10-6. They're going against the Titans that are 9-7. Okay. They could easily lose that game. I mean, throughout the season, the Chiefs, they had, Alex Smith was not playing like Alex Smith. He was not managing. Right. He was not a game manager. He was balling, throwing the ball down the field. It was crazy. And then you had that wild card with Kareem Hunt. I mean, he was beasting out. He was having plays. He was average. I think he had like 4 games in a row where he had a run for over 65 yards in each one of those games. It was something crazy like that.
He was the leading rusher up to like week 7 or something like
that. Exactly. Then you had Travis Kelce. He's a beast. He's like a tight end, tight end, but he runs like a wide receiver. I mean, that dude is a beast. But again, guess who that coach is? Andy Reid.
That's not fair, man. Leave Andy alone, man.
Hey, man, we just saying where Peterson came from. That's where he getting to.
Exactly. Thank you. I appreciate it because that's exactly where I was going. He cooled off. He cooled off like he won't nothing. He did the typical thing that Andy Reid does, and in true Andy Reid fashion, they sizzled out and they just did make it because there were other teams that were in the hunt. You know what I mean? It wasn't like that's why they're in a wild card spot because they were scraping and scraping and scrapping at the end of the season to make that playoff. So but they did. So I thought it was a good matchup throughout the season between the NFC East and the AFC West. It proved to be, great games, but it turned out a little bit different than we expected just because we thought the AFC was going to be a little better than they were. But again, hell, I thought the Giants were going to be better than they were, but they ended up being a bunch of bums.
Yeah.
I think on both sides we had, teams that we figured would be better and they ended up not panning out being what we thought they would be. So, I mean,
they were hands down the biggest disappointment. The Giants.
Yeah, absolutely. Almost in the NFL. I mean, because even if you look at the Browns at 0-16, don't nobody care. I mean, you kind of expected them to be that, but they were picking that people were picking the Giants to win the NFC East this season.
Yep.
You know, so I mean, for them where did they go? 0-7 or 8, something like that. I don't know.
NFC East.
No, the Giants, they went 0 and something for a long time this season, right?
I think they're like 0-9.
Yeah,
and then they went over there and played somebody.
I thought they won a game early. I didn't know they went 0-9.
No, they were losing. They lost a lot in the beginning.
That's crazy. I didn't know they went that far.
I think that was the case. I could be wrong. I don't know.
It might be.
But at any rate, they still didn't pan out to be what they were supposed to be.
Nope.
You know it. But overall, again, it was a good division to play against this season. It was fun to watch them go back and forth and go from East Coast to West Coast and see how the teams perform, changing, you know, going through those changed time zone changes and stuff like that. So
they were 0-5, and then they played the Broncos.
Oh, 0-5.
And they beat the Broncos.
Okay.
Right.
And they lost out, and then they beat the Chiefs in week 11.
Right.
And they just beat the Redskins at the end. That's all that.
So they 3-13. They ended 3-13.
Yeah, 3-13.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy, man. I
mean, they try hard to beat us. They try hard.
They all, man. Look, they came close. They did. Almost doesn't count though. You know, 99.5 won't do. That's what they say. So let's move into the playoffs, man. Let's move into the playoffs. Cash kind of pre-ejaculated into the playoffs earlier.
I had that problem every now and again. I'm sorry.
Hey, look, we all do, man. We men, we can talk about that. It is what it is. But so Cash, you're predicting that the Eagles will play the Saints okay. Let me hear about that.
It's kind of wishful thinking, but yeah, I'm predicting it as well.
You said wishful thinking. You just want to see the game.
Yeah, I don't think Matt Ryan. I think they're the strongest team of the NFC South right now. The 3 potential teams they have that they can play. I don't believe in Matt Ryan coming back to Philly because he always stinks when he comes back here. I don't know if it's because he's from this area or what. I don't think Carolina is very strong as a team, and Cam Newton is a wild card. You don't know what you're going to get from him.
Very true.
And I trust Drew Brees and company the most, man. And they have a dominant running game right now, and they have a defense to go with it. And they came to Philly in 2013 and did this already, so they have experience.
It was 2014 first and foremost.
Not bad.
And they only beat us by 2. They only beat us by 2. And yes, it was. You know, Drew Brees at helm, and they coach Peyton who came in. And all I want to say is, that game.
I mean, I concur, Cash. I mean, you don't know what you're gonna get out of Cam Newton and the Carolina Panthers. I think they're a good team, but I don't think it's their year. You know, they haven't been consistent enough for me, and they have a tendency to get late in games and have to scrap and fight to get a W. Right. And I mean, by all means, a W is a W. Sometimes they win them, but you don't want to have to fight like that all the time. You shouldn't have to win like that all the time. You should state your dominance at some point and say, okay, y'all can't beat us. But they always look wishy-washy at the end of games. Yep. And you know, as far as the Falcons are concerned, their offense, man. Like for example, Julio Jones. 1 week he could catch for 150 plus.
Right.
3 touchdowns. Then the next week he'll have 5 receptions for 2 yards. Or 5 thrown to him for 2 yards. It's crazy.
Right.
It's crazy.
This cat could potentially get a 300-yard game any day, and He's just a wild card.
Yeah.
I'm telling you right now. The whole reason for that's their gameplay. Now that he's gonna have to show up, and now he's gonna have to do due diligence. The number one thing that I don't like is the fact that Matt Ryan throws the ball straight up in the air and just says, "Julio, please grab it."
Yeah,
like do what you do, just grab the ball.
Too much of
it's
that.
Like you're not even planning where to throw the ball. It's like one time Julio was in the air looking like, yo, where the heck is this ball coming from? Oh, there it go. Like he had no idea the ball was in the air. And Matt Ryan is like, yeah, I'm just gonna throw this up for you, man. You got that.
Yo, I just
man. That's basically
losing to Philly in Philly for so many years now, man. Back when Vic was here, they were still playing at the vet with Algie Crumpler and them cats coming in.
Because, and I'm gonna tell you, man, the reason why. Atlanta coming up here, man, it's gonna be cold. It's gonna be real cold.
I don't buy it. Oh man, it's a good.
Man, it's a different temperature when you're a dome team going somewhere where it's freezing cold.
When Drew Brees came here in 2014, it was cold. It was cold when Tampa Bay shut it down.
Did you remember when Drew Brees came up here? They said
it was cold when Carolina Panthers came here and beat y'all in the championship.
I'm gonna tell you right now. Okay, cool. But I'm telling you this right now. When Brees came, they was like, yo, this does not look like Drew Brees playing this game right now. Who is this playing?
He has a running game now. He has a strong running game.
No, the problem was the Eagles allowed Drew Brees on the field too much. To be the good quarterback, you can't let him on the field.
Boy, you was right on point. My next point was going to be this. Even I was going to put it on two teams, either the Falcons or the Saints. That's what the Eagles going to have to worry about is that running game. Because like the Falcons, they got that two-headed monster with Coleman and Freeman.
Yeah.
A Coleman and a Freeman equals a Todd Gurley. and then you got Kamara and Ingram. And I know neither one of you like Ingram, but with Kamara beside him or Kamara helping him out, oh my God, that is a running back tandem to be reckoned with. And right now, the Eagles are susceptible to the run. That defense is not playing the run well at the end of this season. They're not.
Right. And they have experience, man. It's a big deal for Drew Brees and Sean Payton, man. Like, they're the leaders on that team, and they have been there and done that. That goes a long way, yo. A long way.
Eons.
Yep. So that's my wish for thing. Who would you rather play, Trevis?
Oh, we already know the answer to that. And it ain't nothing else telling you. Of course. Yeah. No, I rather play. No, I mean when you look at it, right now, I'd rather play the Atlanta Falcons. They are not sizzling hot. They are not burning hot. They make a lot of mistakes as a team, and Matty Ice is exactly that. He turns into ice with people in his face. He turns into ice, and he will throw the ball straight up in the air towards Julio Jones and say, "Whoever won it, that's you." And if you look at their kicker, the kicker is not really all crazy that good either. And I always look at special teams.
Matt Bryant.
Man, Bryant ain't all like that, man. I mean, he's good. He's good, but
Matt Bryant just kicked like a 56-yarder. Like you're crazy.
Matt Bryant been around. What you talking about, man?
He been around, but he ain't making that kick. He come to Philadelphia, yo.
Man,
a rat for him.
I know Dan Bailey.
You're not gonna let me finish?
League history. He looked horrible last week. My goodness.
That's what I'm saying. So I'm telling you, he come to Philly, he ain't making that. So when you look at the other side of the bracket, and this is because the Eagles are the number one seed, and I'm going to the Falcons, and I would like for the Falcons to win. I really don't want to see, Gurley next week. But you look at the NFC on the other side. Yeah, I'll look at the other side. And they say, can the Panthers
playing the Rams? Your three options.
We're not.
Three South teams.
He's thinking. He's thinking down the line. Is what he's talking about.
Yeah, I just want him out now. I don't even want to think next week. Like, yo, can they shoulda, coulda? Will they
Well,
beat
that's
the Vikings?
No. Of you, Revis Willingham.
Yeah, I don't even want to think about that. For the Eagles' road to the Super Bowl, this is what I see. We play the Atlanta Falcons, then we play the Minnesota Vikings. As simple as that. I know for a fact the Saints can't beat the Vikings. I know for a fact.
Boy, famous last words, Jesus, boy.
Famous last words.
Hey,
yo,
let me
listen to me, man. Listen to me, man. Hold on, man. Right now, the Saints are not going into Minnesota. It's like 2 degrees in Minnesota right now. They not going into Minnesota. Coming from
in a dome, bro.
No, I don't know what they got going on over there right now.
It's a dome. They got a brand new stadium.
It's dome. It don't even matter. It's still the dome still don't heat up like it's like 80 degrees inside.
Oh gosh, it heat up enough not to bother.
I'm telling you. They said not to bother them.
Yeah.
I'm telling you right now, they don't want to go up there into Minnesota and play the Vikings, yo. They don't want to.
It'll be a great game.
I do think that the Saints are going to beat the Panthers, though.
Let me ask you a question, Mr. Special Teams. Let me ask you a question, Mr. Special Teams. What? Do you like your kicker?
What?
Yes, rookie? You like him?
Yes, he has missed some. I know.
Hold on, man. You didn't even let me. Do you like him better than Matt Bryant?
Yep.
You shouldn't. because
why should I like my kicker better than something Matt Bryant?
And I'm gonna tell you why. Because Matt Bryant is number 7. Your kicker is number 16 in the league.
I don't care. You should.
I
don't care where he at in the league. You know what team he played for? You know what team he played for? The number 1 team in the NFC.
Oh,
that's what team he played for. Well, plus coming sub. Look, now you just want to say throw what? Well, plus coming sub. The reason why Matt Bryant is that high is because his team has to kick more field goals. That's why he's that high.
But he make them right. But he makes them at an
87% rate. He's gonna say because he kicks indoors. I mean, I would have given you that.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't care. You gotta kick more field goals, dog. Nobody try to hear that. My man kicking extra points.
Y'all Eagles was treating Jake Elliott like his name was Rudy, carrying him off the field when he kicks a walk off. What is a 50-yard play? Yeah, get out of here, man.
I'm telling you right now, because of that game, that is the reason why the foot of the Eagles are where they are. Because the Giants beat us that game, I think they all start looking down.
These are facts.
The magic they needed that game. That really catapulted.
They needed that magic. They needed that luck. They was like, hey, we needed that luck. Thank you.
Well, I'm here to tell you, your damn magic tricks are done. And because y'all going into the playoffs, y'all going into
the man, don't be trying to take our magic, man. We need all that magic. We need that.
Your magic is gone.
Man.
And look, Houdini,
y'all hate is real, dog.
Hold up, Houdini.
They gonna reach in that bag and pull out air.
Houdini Wentz is on the sideline with a messed up knee.
I'm telling you right now.
Unfortunately,
I'm messing up, man.
Unfortunately, I'm telling you right now, going into the playoffs with Nick Foles and all these question marks and the way he was throwing that ball these past couple weeks, y'all are in trouble.
The game is not going to be, listen to me, man, playoff games run different. The game is not going to be about Nick Foles. It's going to be about managing of the clock. Listen, it's going to be about managing of the clock. And who's going to have to come up with some magic? Our defense is going to have to come up with some real magic.
What happens if the running game isn't giving you what you need? Holding call here, holding call here.
You're forced to throw the ball. And you're forced to throw the ball.
I'm telling you right now, if we force to throw the ball, I think that if they come up with the correct plays, like I said before, they come up with the correct plays for Foles, not Wentz plays, Foles plays. Start taking the ball further down the field on these passing plays. Get these defenders thinking that these receivers are going to go deep. You will start to see the defenses start to overthink things, and it'll leave up a lot of holes for the running backs to be able to get through. Because linebackers will be like, oh, they lined up in that again, or they lined up in that spread offense. Last time they ran that corner route on us, they'll start trying to jump things. You'll start being able to get little things out the backfield and start to get these linebackers. The whole key is the linebackers. Get the linebackers off their dean, and you can start doing different things with the defense that's out there. And that's what they're going to have to do. They're going to have to find those plays for Foles to fit it in there. He can't dink and dunk. I told y'all that weeks ago. He was not a dink and dunk quarterback. He is a bomb-throwing quarterback.
So you're basically
that's
saying
the easiest thing for a quarterback to do is throw bombs.
So you're saying they're going to have to throw the ball 30 yards or more for him to get into his groove and be successful. If the running game ain't working,
intermediate to long is what
I'm saying over 10, below 30. That range, hitting them on deep curls, and corner routes. That's what Foles does, man. He's always done that. Even if you look at a lot of the film against the Giants, that pass to Ertz, that was like a 20-something yard pass on a curl route.
And that's the biggest difference, is because the offense with Wentz, there was a whole lot of, keeping them on schedule. 6-yard gain here, 7-yard gain there. Just keep those sticks moving. They were always 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3. Nick Foles can't operate.
I'm telling you, Foles okay with throwing deep. And that's Peterson has to get okay with.
That's fine.
Throw deep.
But I'm telling you like this, just like you said, in the playoffs, it's played a lot different. And them passes,
the field
like that,
shrinks.
It shrinks. It shrinks.
Yep.
And I'm telling you right now, you're saying that his success is predicated on him being able to throw the ball between 15 and 30 yards consistently. In the playoffs, you don't see plays like that. Defenses don't play soft like that. And hold on. And he's got to have time to do it with a weak ass Vitae you got on the left side. They're gonna knock that dude in the mouth. He gonna clam up, and next thing you know, he gonna throw 4 picks.
Look, I'm telling you right now,
the Eagles are going home. Oh no, they gonna be at home. I'm sorry, they gonna be at home. My bad.
Vitae will get his help that is needed when he needs it.
He will. Right?
And a lot of time he needs help. A lot of time he needs help is on stunts. For some reason, he don't know when somebody's stunting in front of his face. I have no idea why. But Foles has been taking some really deep drops to get himself away from that. The problem with this is when he's taking his deep drop, he's holding on to the ball. It's like, once you get to your hitch step, let this ball go or start running. It's one or the other. You are not fast. You are not quick. Soon as you get that ball into that hitch step on that non-step drop for that deep corner you try and throw or that deep curl, run. Start moving immediately. Get these linebackers moving so that they don't know what you're doing, because Foles will throw a pick under. He will throw a pick under.
You know that saying Foles and run is an oxymoron, right?
Foles can move, man. He just gotta get the jump on the defense. It can't be nobody chasing.
Man, that dude too tall, man. That dude what, 6'5"?
Yeah, he can run. No, he's 6'6". No, Wentz is 6'5". He's 6'6".
That's right.
But it's like, he can move. It's just he gotta get the jump on everybody. He gotta be the first person to know he about to run. It can't be, I'm chasing you, and then he like, I need to start running. No, it's like a giraffe. When giraffes start running, it look like they go in slow motion until they really get into their motion. Foles got to already be in the run to get by everybody.
But they got to get to that point. They got to get to that. They got to get to that point.
You just better hope they don't hit him early. Good. Don't let him.
I'm telling you right now. The Eagles defense coming out balls to the walls, doing everything they can to make sure that they don't have to deal with other people's offense. I'm telling you. They're going to be doing everything under the sun that they could do. We brought a person off of injured reserve. That's how bad it is.
With Cowboys' lone touchdown. They went balls to the wall, zero blitz, and got burned on the slant for their only touchdown. So that comes with the coach. And Drew Brees is a whole lot better than Dak Prescott. Trust and believe me.
I mean, when push comes to shove, that's why I enjoy the fact that Drew
to prove that.
Yeah, that's why I enjoy the fact that I know what you're saying. I looked at a lot of film against Breeze and what the defenses attempt to do. They attempt to make Breeze move to the left and then still stay in the pocket but moving to the left because that end coming off his right end, always trying to knock the ball out of his hand. But this year he's been able to find either his tight end or running back in the middle. And we talked about this before the show. Kamara will be just sitting there waiting for the ball with nobody over him.
Mm-hmm.
Like somebody be near him, but you ain't on him. You just near him. He catch the ball. He take 5 steps. This motherfucker's 20 yards downfield. It's like, yo, somebody got to be on this man. This is a man right here. This dude is like Marshall Faulk on the turf team. It's like, come on.
I saw it in person against the Redskins, and he did it several times.
Yeah. I didn't know
it's like, yo,
coming into this season, man.
You don't want to see Kamara. That Eagles, you don't want to see that dude because he's gonna make you look bad fast.
Only thing that doesn't help that team out, they don't have Jimmy Graham. If they had Jimmy Graham on that team, it'd be over, yo. They'd be like, oh my God. I know, but it'd be like, oh my God. How could you defend anybody on that team if they had Graham? It'd be like, oh my God. But the only thing I can think of for them doing is when the Kamara's in the game, they're gonna put somebody like Malcolm Jenkins on him to say, yo, just stay with him. Tackle him if he catch the ball. Don't let him get by you.
But I
don't know how well this will be successful, but I will say hopefully he could tackle him when he does catch the ball, tackle him immediately. Make him a non-factor, make Ingram beat us.
Dude, they got that 1-2 punch. They can put Kamara on the outside or they can run it up the gut with Ingram. Either one. It don't matter.
But that's what I'm saying. But we're talking about a man-to-man situation where he spied him the entire time, no matter where he was at. That's where he would be.
I'm gonna put it to you like this. I like Malcolm Jenkins. I think he's a really good player. But if you put Kamara on this side and Jenkins on this side on a one-on-one matchup, I'm giving a nod to Kamara all day. Sorry.
Yeah, I seen him truck some people. I said, man, did he just carry this dude? I understand what you're saying. But the whole thing is hopefully he could be there to at least wrap up and then somebody else come and solidify the tackle. The thing about the Eagles is they have to fly to the ball. The number one thing about the Eagles when we first started out this season, they were flying to the ball. If somebody caught a pass, they were flying as a full team to the ball. You recently started to see that drop off a little bit. They got to get back on that as a defense. Fly to the ball.
Because they were playing with the lead. You can play like that. You can over pursue and you can fly to the ball and you can play like that when you got a lead. It's okay. You can take those risks, but you can't do that when you're not playing with a lead. You don't play that. You don't play that relaxed. You don't play that comfortable. It don't work like that, especially in the playoffs.
Well, do me a favor, start playing for a lead. All right?
I spoke to this earlier in the season when Carson Wentz was at the quarterback, playing quarterback. It's different when you get down in them trenches. These games become a lot tighter. Those magical plays and getting away and all that stuff is happening in your favor. You're getting all the calls. It's different when you get to the playoffs and those things stop happening. And that's what you're going to see. Those types of things are going to stop happening, especially being that Foles is your quarterback instead of Wentz now.
Well, What I will say about that is the Eagles play way better in games where referees stop calling nick and knack calls because we're very physical. We do hold.
Now we talk about the refs.
We do. No. We do hold. No, you just said that those special little things stop happening. And I said, what I'm saying is in certain games, refs say, no, I'm just going to let y'all play. Eagles do very well, and I'm going to let y'all play games.
Your corners holding.
We had a couple of those.
Yo.
Yes, a lot. And I noticed it when they start calling it. I said, damn. I said, man, I like the games that they were just allowing them to play and wasn't calling those little nick and knack calls.
That's what helped you get all the sacks from coverage.
Exactly, man. Like that is game time, man. Like everything built for the offenses, the defenses got to get a little something.
That's what allows Long to give up every game check because he don't care. He can do that. Hey, I will say this. Salute to that young man for doing that because that's a big deal. That's a big deal, man.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
Yeah, right. You talking about game checks? That's real.
Yeah. I mean,
I wonder do we have to tax that?
Huh?
Yeah, I'm sure it's tax write-off.
It's tax write-off. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It's a tax write-off. I mean, I ain't mad at him.
The money, but you gain the money.
I ain't mad at him. You get a big tax write-off. Hey, so what? You benefit from helping out somebody else. I ain't mad at that.
And you don't get all that back anyway.
I mean, I didn't have a game for tonight, man. You know, it's gotten pretty late. You know, but
That's cool.
We talked about all the NFC East teams.
So,
you know,
Yeah, I heard y'all. I ain't give my post-mortem on my sorry ass Cowboys.
I gave mine on the Redskins, but it won't about much. It won't much to say, really.
Well, I know I listened to a little bit of y'all conversation about Garrett and everything, and I'm definitely in the camp of I'm done with that regime, man. I know he's coming back, but honestly, man, I'm at a place now where I know what's going to happen with it, and I'm not going to next season. I'm not going to be here hype. This is the year because I don't believe in Garrett anymore, man. I don't think he's that coach that's going to take you to the promised land, man. Like, how much more we need to see. I could see if he was knocking at the door, every year. But he has this cycle, when there's nothing expected of the Cowboys, i.e. when they went 4-12 and all the 8-8 and all the prognosticators are like, oh, yeah, they trash. Boom, 12-4, Oh, man, Cowboys Super Bowl contenders. This is their year. Oh, 4-12, Then when they gonna win 5 games, 13-3. But you see the cycle. When you start expecting too much of them, that's when they choke. Like, something within Jason Garrett's culture isn't allowing them to take that next step, man. And I think it has a lot to do, starting with that sorry ass offense, that he's allowing Scott Linehan to run. It's garbage, and I'm tired of it. And I think a lot of that is holding Dak back too. Like, we don't even know what we have in Dak right now, man. We don't know what we have in Dak. People throwing Dez under the bus. When they show those replays and they show Dez and they show those receivers, I'm looking at the route concepts. And I'm looking at these routes these cats running, and I'm saying to myself, who can't cover these routes they're running? They're running comebacks. They don't run rub routes. They don't ever go deep. They don't run posts. They don't run post corners. Everything is a quick slant or a comeback. They don't have any creativity in their offense. It's stale. You've heard so many defenders from opposing teams talk about how easy that offense is to defend. So I look at other teams and I'm just jealous. I'm tired of it, man. I'm tired of seeing it. And Linehan's coming back. They're firing receivers coaches and QB coaches and defensive back coaches, like as if they're the reason, that these schemes stink. It's the coordinators and the head coach. That's it, man. And here's the one. I heard this, I think it was this morning. The one stat that blew my mind, and then I'm going to stop talking about this. I don't have the teams offhand, but the top 10 teams who are all in the playoffs right now, top 10 teams league to league in rushing. Dallas is ranked number 2 in rushing, and they're the only team not in the playoffs. Blew my mind. You're talking Eagles, amazing. Saints, Rams, all these teams, 1 through 10, all in the playoffs. Dallas ranked number 2. Only one out of the top 10 in rushing, not in the playoffs.
With a running back that was out 6 weeks? Good God.
Right. That tells you that they don't know how to manage the game, man. They don't even know how to manage the game. You have a good running game that's producing, and you're still doing something wrong where you're the only team in the top 10 that didn't make the playoffs.
We talk about playoff teams that had Kareem Hunt, Todd Gurley, Dante Freeman. Even McKinnon in Minnesota's been balling. And Latavius Murray, they've been balling. And then Kamara and Ingram. We talking about some high quality running backs here. Yeah, I'm assuming it's probably either Gurley or Kamara I mean, that would have the Rams or the Saints at number one. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's either one of them
I think
two.
it's the Saints. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Woo. Wow. That would suck.
Yeah. Only team.
Well,
Yeah.
I tell you what, I'm gonna let Trevis go last. I'm gonna go ahead and set it off for the Redskins and kind of wrap it up for tonight and for their season. Jay Gruden. I think we all on this quarterback thing, right? I mean, head coaching thing. Not so much the Eagles, but we all know the Giants don't give a damn about their head coach. They fired his ass. They needed to. But Jay Gruden for the Redskins head coach. 28, 35, and 1 with one playoff loss over, I think it's 4 seasons so far. That's ass. That's booty. Wow. That is terrible. That's terrible. Yeah, it is. And the thing is, I talked about it earlier when I was referring to Jerry Jones, but it's like Jay Gruden too. He don't know how to pick a staff, man. He don't know how to pick. He don't know how to pick a good offensive coordinator or good defensive coordinators or position, especially special teams. I don't know who he got leading special teams, but whoever it is, he sucks. He's horrible. It's terrible. It's terrible. I mean, the lack of consistency, the lack of discipline, the lack of heart that the Redskins showed this season, you could tell not only were they not playing for Jay Gruden, they weren't playing for him, they weren't playing for each other. And you could tell. I mean, look at Terrell Pryor and him coming in with a 1-year contract for $8 million, and look at what you got out of him. Nothing to show for it. Stuff like that. I
can't put my finger on it for the Redskins, man. I really can't. I can't put my finger on it.
And the revolving door
injuries this year, I think, but
they had a ton of injuries. They did. That revolving door at running back was killing them. They couldn't get that. They couldn't get that together. Thompson was playing really, really well. Then he kind of fizzled out, and then he ended up getting hurt and injured against the Saints, which sucked. They
need to rethink their receiving core, man. Like, I know they were hoping with the cat. Why am I drawing blank on his name? The cat from the Browns. Just drew blank on his name.
Yo, he said the cat from the
Browns. That's how I still see him, man. He didn't become a Redskin, man. He played like he still played for the Browns.
I told you he was from the Browns. Like his whole understanding was the Browns. He was like, yo, I'm at the Browns, yo. I ain't got to catch this pass.
I think Josh
he forgot he changed it to a Redskins jersey, man. He forgot about it.
They can keep doxing, man, but it may be time to take a second look at Crowder.
Absolutely. And I like Crowder.
Cut bait since they only signed.
No, they need to trade. They need to trade Crowder. To tell you the truth, or make him a punt returner.
Yeah.
No, they don't. They're not. Ain't nobody gonna take Crowder as a punt returner.
Yeah, because he fumbled too much.
No, but I'm just saying he might fumble, but he's still a real good punt returner.
Nobody is worth fumbling, man. I told you that's what Bill Parcells said, man.
Nobody's gonna take him. Do not market him. Do not listen to Trevis Willingham, Redskins personnel. Do not trade or try to market Crowder as a punt returner. Nobody will take him. No, do not do that. I think they need to move on from Reed. I think they need to move on from Reed.
Too. Yeah, he had a lot of back injuries.
They rely on him.
They rely on him.
That's why
he can't stay on the field.
Yep, they need to rethink that whole receiving core.
But my thing is, he forgot all about Vernon Davis. Vernon Davis was there for a while. Like, yo, please throw me the ball.
Yep.
He ended up with brick hands out of nowhere. Yeah, then he ended up with brick hands late in the season.
Yeah, but Vernon Davis is what? Early 30s. His better years are behind him. What you get out of him is what you get out of him. You just that's just a bonus. He's a number 2. That's just a bonus, man. You can't rely on him like that. I mean, Jordan Reed, he's relatively young, man. He's supposed to be in that game balling out, but he can't stay on the field.
Can't stay on the field.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think
those big giant pads.
Grant was serviceable. Grant, he was serviceable, but he ain't gonna blow the doors off. I mean,
Grant is built like a toothpick. He ain't ready.
Nah, he's small.
He need to hit a weight room. He need to hit a weight room.
Ultimately,
he's a small dude.
He is, and ultimately, I agree, Cash. I think they need to rethink the receiving core. Maybe keep Dotson. Dotson, he's just got to learn how to. He's still young, I get it, but he's got to make those big time, prime time plays when the lights are on. He's got to.
I think he'll grow into that. I can see he has the potential to grow into that. I wouldn't give up on him.
Nah, I would keep Dotson. I mean, because this technically, realistically, was his rookie season. Because last year he stayed in injury, he didn't play much. So this is really his coming out season. But I mean,
go overall, get yourself a legitimate running back, a feature back.
Swear, man, I swear.
They don't have one of those yet either.
No, because I mean, even last season, they thought Matt Jones was going to be that dude, but he was fumbling all over the place.
Yeah.
So then they got rid of him, and they brought in Rob Kelly from he came from Tulane. Fat Rob is what they called him. He actually slimmed down some for this season. He was running pretty well, but then he started getting injured and couldn't stay on the field. So then Chris Thompson was there the whole time. So he had a very good understanding of the offense, and that showed this season because he was balling out. And then they thought they had a good running back in P-Ryan, which he ain't bad, but he's just he's just.
I don't see him being a feature back though. He's not.
He's lukewarm. He's lukewarm. Exactly. He's lukewarm. So, like you said, I agree. They need to find a feature back that can consistently get them 5 yards, average 5 yards a carry. You know what I mean? They really need to do that. And I don't really like what you're saying, Cass, because you just naming a whole lot of holes. It's a whole lot of holes. God, no. I just had a thought. I was like, God, no, that's a lot. Whole receiving core, a feature running back. I mean, good God Almighty.
Jesus. I'm just saying, you're in the division. I pay attention to you.
I know it. I hear it, man. And you speaking facts. It's the truth. So ultimately, to me, it all comes back to Jay Gruden. He needs to go. And I thought that Dan Snyder would see it that way and he would put him on the market and let him go, but nope, he did not. He's coming back. So
if y'all do that, I would be most appreciative if y'all could send Bill Callahan back to us. I would like very much. Get our O-line back intact because it hasn't been the same since he left. But he hates Jason Garrett, so
so that ain't gonna happen.
Nah, they fell out, man.
I think the biggest disappointment with the Redskins this season was all those injuries on the offensive line, man. I mean, it crushed them. I mean, and I think it had a big toll on the running game because that offensive line couldn't get up the field and make them blocks and pull, do that old pull that they do with the center and the guard. They couldn't do that like they wanted to. I mean, you saw them running sometimes, but not nearly enough. I mean, because they had backup linemen in the game, So it just sucked for the Redskins this season, and I wish it would have gone better, but it didn't. It is what it is. So Trevis, what do you got to say to close this thing out about the Eagles going into the playoffs?
Well, first and foremost, since you seem to be all coming on your teams pretty hard, I'm not really going to say too much about mine. We are the number one team in the NFC. I would like to say that for the entire NFL, but for right now, I'm not going to be able to say that because there's 4 teams with the same record. But you got to play the background music.
Oh God!
What?
Turn that garbage off.
Hey, man.
Hold on, man. That's my segment, man. That's my segment. Right now, the Philadelphia Eagles are number one in the NFL in almost everything. Philadelphia Eagles are still out there. We still have to play. We still have things to do. And we have to improve as far as we can and as quick as we can with our backup quarterback. And I have nothing else to say as far as that because we're still
Say his name. Say his
we're
name.
still in the playoffs.
I
I don't care what his name is. We're still in the
Say that young
playoffs.
man's name.
We are
He
in
is
the
number
playoffs,
two
Philadelphia. We're in the playoffs, Philadelphia. It doesn't matter. Just remember we're in the playoffs. It doesn't matter what anybody else says. We are in the playoffs.
Say it. Nathan Sudfeld. You can say it, Trevis. Come on.
He didn't even say his name.
Say his name.
I said on Nathan Sudfeld. No, man. I ain't worried about that boy. He came in and played one game against some bum Cowboys. Playing some bum Cowboys team. Y'all expect that? Man, please, man.
He didn't even say his name.
Say that man name. He's your number 2, Trevis. He is your number 2. He is a whisper away from being president.
He came in, everybody like, well, are you going to play him in the playoffs? Are you serious? He didn't come in and throw 3-4 touchdowns. He came in and did nothing.
Don't let this be a Clement and Sproles all over again now. I'm trying to help you.
Oh, buddy.
Say that man name. Give him his respect. Give him his respect.
Better give him his respect.
Yo, don't bring up nobody else, dog.
Put
nobody.
Some
don't even
respect on his name.
Put some respect on
Yo,
that
don't
man
even talk about nobody. You are not allowed to bring up anything about anybody on my team, man. You know how many injuries we got on our team, man? We got mad injuries on our team. We still the number 1 team in the NFL. It don't matter, dog.
I'm sorry, Trevis. The hex has been put on him. It's over.
He wouldn't say his name. He wouldn't say his name. Yo,
first and foremost, the bull is I don't even know what year this bull is in the NFL. That's how irrelevant this bull is, man.
It's the
second year in the NFL. Yeah. And what you think he gonna jump into a playoff game and ball?
I don't think that. I'm just saying. He's a whisper away. He's a Nick Foles. I'm too scared to go back out there away from playing. You know that look. Hey, them boys hitting out there. I ain't going out there. You know that look Nick Foles give you.
That bull get that wide-eyed look like.
Mm-hmm. Like, shit is real out there, son.
He's sitting there all wide-eyed like.
Hey, look, man. This season we had a lot of predictions, man. We had a ton of predictions. Yeah. We had Simeon getting benched. Y'all call that one.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, y'all called that one. Trevis, I must admit, you called Pryor not amounting to be much. You called that one. I personally, I'm gonna take credit for Alshon Jeffries not doing much, even though the Eagles paid him. I wouldn't have paid him.
I agree too. I wouldn't have paid him either. But I mean, if you look at it with Wentz, if you have it with Wentz, he's solid.
He's serviceable.
Yeah. I mean, with Wentz in the game, you got a running quarterback. They leave him alone. He is still, like I said, he's still drawing that double coverage. Regardless of how you want to put it, he's drawing the double coverage, and that's what you want your number 1 receiver to do. Draw the double coverage.
Is he drawing double coverage, or are they just double covering him because they can? Like, why not? We have extra defenders.
Yo, that's pure hatred in your blood to say that, yo. Why not? Why not double coverage Ertz? Why not double coverage Ertz then?
I'm sure they do. I'm sure if you counted the numbers, I'm sure Ertz gets
often all
than Jeffrey.
But
Jeffrey's not a world.
I mean, he's double covered.
Before, nobody's scared.
But a lot of times he's with one linebacker running across the field against him.
That's probably because they playing zone, and that's the way it shakes out.
Yeah, I mean,
and to be clear, I understand the Eagles paid him, but they didn't pay him big time wide receiver money. They just paid him.
They paid him enough to where next year they can cut him with minimal damage. That's what they paid.
Exactly.
They said thank you. Like if we decided there was somebody else, they could do it.
He ain't even a 1,000-yard receiver, man. He ain't even a 1,000-yard receiver. He's 35th in the league.
No, he got like 800 yards or something like that.
789.
789. Okay, yeah, I was close. It was like 800 yards.
I mean,
and he doesn't have a 100-yard game for the season. He doesn't have a 100-yard game. I think Torrey Smith. No, Aguilar has a 100-yard game before him. I think, or Torrey Smith. One of them.
I think it's Aguilar, but I know Ertz was the best receiver on y'all team. The best wide.
Yeah, he's the best receiver. Yeah, hands down. And what's crazy is you the best receiver. You the best receiver, and he was out 2 games.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Aguilar's 25th.
Actually, he was out 3 games because the game that he came back, we didn't even know Ertz was in the game.
Aguilar was 25th, and he had 768 yards receiving. I don't understand how Jeffrey's got that kind of money, but I mean, it is what it is. I mean, it was several other predictions. We predicted that the Giants head coach was going to get axed, and today, offensive coordinator was going to be playing, calling the plays. That happened. We called that, and the GM. We called the GM and the head coach getting axed.
GM and the head coach.
Yeah,
called that
early in the season.
Yeah,
we called most of the wins, in the games. We called them. We told you, look, we're gonna win. Look, I don't think they're gonna win.
It's gonna be fun to go back and start pulling out these clips, of all the predictions and whatnot, and try and put them into one. And that's gonna be our project. Each of us take a few videos and start marking our times to get pulled out, and then I'll go pull them joints out.
Oh, I got some of mine already queued up.
Yeah.
What was that stat you had, Trevis?
Oh, the stat that I had was that the Philadelphia Eagles have not lost to anybody that's in the playoffs. Their record towards everybody in the playoffs is wins. I just want to say it as a historical. Hold on, bro. As a historical stat, the Philadelphia Eagles are winners over the Falcons in their series lead, 18-14. We're beating them. The Philadelphia Eagles over the Carolina Panthers, 7-4. Remember, the Carolina Panthers are a relatively young franchise.
They are.
And then New Orleans Saints. We're leading the New Orleans Saints 17-13. So Philadelphia Eagle fans, keep that in your mind.
They're proud.
Hey,
say it louder.
But he won't say it. But he won't say his name.
Yeah. Won't say Nate Sudfeld.
Hey, look, I tell you what, it's been fun. It's been fun being on these podcasts with you guys on the regular season.
Indeed.
Like I said earlier, when I opened up the podcast, I plan on coming back. I think these fellas do too. We're gonna come back even better and bigger next season.
We're taking phone calls next season.
Taking phone calls, getting you guys involved in what we're doing. And I just want to say thank you guys for accompanying me on Thursday nights and having fun, man. This has been a ball, man. I learned a lot about doing these podcasts. I learned a lot about my team. I learned a lot about you guys' teams, and I hope that we were able to bring all of you viewers, more information about the NFC Beast, the NFC East teams, and hey man, keep watching, man. Football is a fun sport. It's a great game to watch, and there's a lot to talk about. So I appreciate it, man. I'm glad you guys could join me in this voyage. So with that being said,
glad we did it.
Yeah, maybe next year we can find a Giants fan for y'all.
Yeah, maybe next year. Maybe next year we can find y'all a decent Giants fan.
And that depends on whether they're winning or not.
I hear you.
It definitely does.
No doubt about it. I give a huge shout out to you, Cash, for coming up with the idea. It's you were the brainchild that came up with the theory of having, a representative from each team in the NFC East and getting up here and talking about it. So I give a mad salute and shout out to you, my brother. That was awesome, man.
Thank you for even just putting the whole podcast thing in my head, man. So, we did it. We did it all together, man. We just had to throw this thing and make it better, man.
And, hey, I appreciate Screaming Trey too over there. I mean, you really keep the energy up, man, and you be all in the camera and stuff.
Hey, I appreciate y'all for having me, man. I know when y'all got me on here, y'all was like, here go this Eagles fan, man. He ain't gonna care what we saying. No matter what we said, it ain't gonna be right.
Plenty of warning.
He did. He gave
a warning. He's like, I don't know, Trevis, man, I don't know. But I'm hoping that it came out to where we all could agree and disagree in a respectful, situation. And we did what we had to do. We gave our fans what they needed, man. that understanding of like, yo, these cats know what they talking about. I didn't even look at the game that way.
Oh
I
no,
didn't
man!
call that, yo. I didn't even see that.
Hey, look, I had people that I know who watched it and hit me up. They were like, "Man, y'all was coming with some crazy stats," and I mean, a lot of it, I feel like the dynamic was there from different areas. Like you and Cash, y'all played football. I didn't play football, but Cash know me. I'm a brainiac dude. I get into them stats, but I know the game of football. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so I think those different dynamics, really played a big part in why, to me, it was a really good podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And I like when Dumas was here. When he was here, I thought it was it was interesting to have him up there.
I loved it. It was somebody very interesting to say, "What the are you talking about, dog? Like what the hell are you talking about right now?" Like,
podcast for better or for
please
worse.
assist me. Remember when he was talking about Collins? Couldn't even say his dang on name right, yo. Like he's the most interesting fan. Yo, he's the most interesting fan that just sat there and just said anything he wanted. And I thought that was gonna be me until I said, you know what, man, I can't be that fan. I gotta be the fan that's coming with some information. Because I'm like, oh, here go the Eagles fan again. I'm like, no, I'm an Eagles fan, but I'm a realist too. I'm a realist in the situation.
None of us were close to stepping out there like Dumas stepped out there. I mean, week one, he was giving these crazy predictions. We were like, man, you done lost your mind.
Here we go right here. This bull right here.
Biggie.
When he sat there and he said, oh no. He said, here we go.
You know it's gonna be a huge mismatch for you guys. That's not gonna be ready for England. Because he's a tight end, but he has wide receivers. Y'all don't match up well with tight ends that can run. He's a big boy. And he ain't seen the mouth. Real hard. Abram. Come on, you ever seen that young man play? Like he a season back, he's damn rookie, man. He's a beast. Mark my words. I'm putting it on the that young man that he's like he's gonna be better than 20 Gonzalez with his own tennis.
Man, when you sat there and he said Tony Gonzalez, he said, man, get off this mic, yo. I don't know who this is talking right now. It's like, I don't even want to talk to you right now. Get off this mic. I think even Dumas went back and looked at that and was like, man, yo, I don't really need to be on this mic, yo. Right. Like, I'm good. I'm going to get off with these bulls. These bulls are pretty good, yo. I think I'm going to step back and chill. And because even at, 1-5.
Right. I thought that might be an issue.
Even at 1-5, he still could have been on there. Even though they was losing, you still represent your team. You say, hey, we losing. I mean, he did give some real good predictions. He's like, man, we ain't going to score nothing. And then they go out there and they don't score nothing. It was like, okay.
But at the end of the day,
that wasn't a problem.
At the end of the day, even though his team was losing, I mean, he can still come at it from a different perspective because he ain't got no dog in the fight. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it got to that point with the Redskins. They got to the point where nobody felt them, thought of them as being a threat. I mean, it wasn't no big deal because they were so inconsistent that, nobody cared. So it wasn't, and that to me, it allowed me to take a step back and look at the other teams to see them for who they really were, because I wasn't being a fan at that point. I'm just looking at football at that point. Mm-hmm. So I don't know, just because they were losing don't mean he shouldn't have been on the podcast, man.
I want to let everybody know that's Giants fans. He gets the podcast. We send it to him. Yeah. He has to hit join. Just to let you know, that join button has to be hit every week. Just like Michael Cash got his and he came in late. Dumas can come at any time he want and get on the podcast. It's still probably on his computer. He may be even tuning in right now. Just don't want to let us know that he's tuning in. It's a possibility, man. It's out there. I'm telling you.
Yeah, man.
But You know, we bring this to you free and by way of us, you know, every time, and we take a part out of our lives to be here with you guys, and we really appreciate y'all for, you know, tuning in and listen to us go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and make these great predictions in which we do every week.
Yep. And with that being said, I just want to say I appreciate y'all, man. I appreciate the fans. I appreciate the viewers. And that's the Talking NFC Beast in the regular season. We will probably come back to you with the playoff edition, depending on how far the Eagles go. I don't think we're gonna have too many more because I don't think they're gonna win.
Oh my God, man! Look,
one and done.
One and done.
Lucky, you lucky. I can't play my music. I don't know what happened to my music.
But we'll see, man. Hey, look, again, I appreciate all you, and thank you, guys. Oh, here we go. Hey, man, play the mashup, man, so we can go, man. Stop playing, yo.
Turn on the mashup and get us out of here, man. Your song first.
Wrong song. Wrong
Look, that's
song.
why we don't give him the controls.
That's why. Exactly.
Yo, which one is it? I'm laughing too hard.
It's the mashup. There we go.
On the road to victory.
One and done. Let the guys play, yo. Let them play for the final, yo. Let them play. Let them play.
Scoping who?
The midget.
The only thing I got to say is, how about them Cowboys?
Without Jason Garrett.
All right, y'all. Talking NFC Beast. Over and out.
Out.
Appreciate y'all.
Peace.